Chapter 13. Mercy sniffed. There was that delightful smell again. Butter. Where was it coming from? She looked around. She saw the little man lying on the ground. She sniffed his face. Hee hee, said the little man. That tickles. Mercy sniffed the man's shirt. Hee hee, he said again. In order to snuffle the man better, Mercy sat on top of him. Hee hee, get off of me, the man said. Mercy put her snout in the man's shirt pocket. She snuffed some more. Oh, hee hee, said the little man. Help! Mercy found a piece of candy. She bit into it. It was sweet. It was lovely. It was very, very buttery. Mercy sat on top of the little man and chewed. A snirin' wailed. Aw, shucks, said the man.
Chapter 14. The fire department arrived first. We have been to this house before, said the fireman named Ned. You are right, said the fireman named Lorenzo. This is the house with the pig. And the toast, said Ned. We ate toast at this house. I see the pig, said Lorenzo. He pointed at Mercy. The pig is sitting on somebody. Good grief, said Ned. Ned and Lorenzo got out of the fire truck. They saw Mr. and Mrs. Watson running out the front door of their house. They saw Eugenia Lincoln and baby Lincoln running out the front door of their house. This is an interesting job, isn't it, said Ned. Very interesting, said Lorenzo.
Chapter 15. Officer Tominello pulled into the driveway of 54 Deckwood Drive. In the yard, he saw 2 firemen, 3 women in nightgowns, and 1 man in pajamas. They were all gathered around a pig. Is that the same pig I caught driving a convertible? He asked himself. It is, he answered himself. It is exactly the same pig. Officer Tominello squinted. Is that pig sitting on top of somebody? Officer Tominello asked himself. That certainly looks to be the case, he answered himself. Officer, officer, shouted Baby. Come quickly. Mercy has caught a thief. Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson and Eugenia Lincoln and Baby Lincoln and Ned and Lorenzo and Officer Tominello all looked down at Mercy. Are you a thief? Officer Tominello asked the man underneath the pig. I am, said Leroy Neeker. I am a thief. Were you robbing these people? Officer Tominello asked. I was, said Leroy Neeker, until the pig got involved. Gentlemen, Officer Tominello, will you assist me in removing the pig? On the count of 3, Ned, Lorenzo, and Officer Tominello lifted Mercy off Leroy Neeker. You're under arrest, Officer Tominello said. It's the pig you should be arresting, said Eugenia Lincoln. Leroy Neeker stood with his cowboy hat in his hand. He looked down at his feet. Oh, officer, said Mrs. Watson, the thief is so tiny. Shouldn't he have something to eat before you arrest him? Maybe he needs some toast, said Ned. With a great deal of butter on it, added Lorenzo. Toast? Officer Tominello. Who needs toast? Why, everyone needs toast, said Mrs. Watson. Even cowboys, said Leroy Neeker. Mercy pricked up her ears. Toast? Butter? At last! She headed for the Watson's kitchen, and everyone followed her.
This is the last chapter, chapter 16. The next morning, the front page of the newspaper read, Pet Pig Captures Thief, Sits on Him Until Help Arrives. She is a porcine wonder, said the pig's owner, Mrs. Watson. She is a very, very brave dear, said Mr. Watson, husband of Mrs. Watson and proud co-owner of the pig. She is a sly pig, said the Watsons' neighbor Eugenia Lincoln, and things with her are never as they seem. Baby Lincoln, sister to Eugenia Lincoln, remarked that the most interesting things seem to happen when one has pie right before bed. The pig did capture the thief, said Police Officer Bert Tomalello. How it happened, I'm not quite certain, but did it happen? It did. Fireman Ned Fortune and Lorenzo Whiz were also at the scene. They both agreed that the pig had some amazing abilities. They also pointed out that Mrs. Watson made excellent toast. The thief, Leroy Ninker, is interested in reforming himself. He would like to become a cowboy. The pig had nothing to say, but she seemed very pleased with herself.